Hello there folks, it is the deciding game number 3 of the winners bracket from one of the qualifying rounds for the Intel Extreme Master Series of Cologne. We have Patience up against Hyun. Series is tied 1-1. Two very different games. Both feature the protoss going with a bit more of an air army. First game, I think Patience just had a better unit composition, was able to keep toe-to-toe with economy. In the second game, we saw Hyun able to take a really big economy lead, deny any type of harassment that happened, and then just move very easily into a much stronger air army and tons of Zerglings, and just was able to just crush through stuff. Even if it wasn't efficient, he had the opportunity to trade more just because he was up essentially, I think, about 5 or 6 spaces by the end of that match. So we'll see what kind of funkiness comes out on this game. Neither game really featured any cheese or anything too ridiculous. Even though there was an Oracle play in game number 2, it wasn't like a rushed Oracle where, you know, you're just going out there to try and do a ton of overwhelming damage or nothing like that. Smells like the Starcraft stuff. I think it's kind of cute. Kind of expecting to see a pool first again here out of Hyun. Maybe not. Ooh. He did go a pool first on his first match. You will see this probe coming across, so he's going to have to be pretty careful here. I was about to say, I wouldn't have been surprised if he pulled one more drone just to make sure. He does not have an overlord watching over top of his hatchery right now. There it is. So you just want to make sure that that probe is tracked until you can come down here and scout for sure that it's not a forge expand. Cannon rushing, still very common in this day and age. And that probe will grab himself a couple of minerals and mosey on around for a bit more scouting. Do have a very similar opening in game number 2 as in game number 3 as we had in game number 2. The one gas into the cybernetics core. See if he's going to go for that earlier nexus once again. I am becoming a big fan of seeing pro people go for the hatch blocks and so forth. I think it's just such a really interesting way to go against protoss players that have been a lot greedier as of late. Like, you don't even have to worry about walling off. I remember a time when every protoss player, if you wanted to get down to nexus in the first 5 minutes, you needed a full wall off with a cannon. But now all you need is a mothership core. And I like seeing Zerg and Terran players exploit that fact that a lot of people are essentially, you know, hunkering down behind a cybernetics core and a mothership core in order to be able to get out their economy a lot more. And that's fine. I mean, they changed StarCraft in a good way to give Protoss a bit more flexibility in being a little bit more economy focused. It's up to the rest of the races to find a way to punish that if need be. And so we see more people going for, you know, 2-base Zergling all-ins, 3-base Roach busts, you know, things of that nature, just to show Protoss players that they just can't always get away with it. Mothership core is patrolling the front. Nexus is about to finish up. First queens are about halfway done for our Zerg player, and a very early forge here. And that's enough for delayed cannons. Looks like he just wants to be able to get out of timing. Might go for maybe like a +1 zealot attack, something of that nature. Hyun has shown that he's really focused on early game speedlings to defend his bases. In this map, we actually don't even have him with the gas yet, so much greedier on the economy. This Overlord is really out in the middle of nowhere. I think he cancelled a Stalker. Thought he made a Stalker as well. The Overlord should be able to get away, I'm pretty sure. All he's got to do is get to this high ground and he'll be fine. I'll keep him highlighted, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go down. So, Mr. Hyun, we're going to see speed again or something different. I'm expecting speed. I'm kind of expecting, maybe it's a 2-base, it could be a 2-base Immortal all-ins. The also classic Immortal all-ins that we see nowadays. Mothership core patrolling safely out front. This Overlord, I think... Oh man, that's close. I think sentries have the same range as a Stalker though. Roach Warren is on the way along with the other gases, so he is going old school Hyun, skipping past the speed for right now, going straight into Roaches with some upgrades. and a really, really fast nexus here. This is really interesting because there's not even a third hatchery out yet for the Zerg player. Burrow as well. Looks like there's going to be some sort of two-base attempt here from our Zerg player. Kind of surprising. I was expecting it more from the Protoss. So Hyun will have to go and get damage in with this. Otherwise, he's going to be quite a ways behind, I'm thinking, in this game. His upgrades are behind. His economy, he started his third base slower. And units-wise, he's still ahead in workers, but obviously, Protoss player on a third Nexus will be able to get out probes pretty darn quick. We haven't seen any other tech yet from our Protoss player. He doesn't have a Twilight Council to start another attack just yet. And this, I think, is a bit of a fake. I know he's pushing out right now like it's a two-base Sentry and Zealot timing. And behind this, we see he's actually just teching up and getting more probes. If he cancels this, I'll actually be really impressed. He does have a recall available to him, and I think that's just what he's going to be using. He might actually get this cancel. He does, and I think he's just going to warp home now. Or he should, at least. Be very surprised if he doesn't. There we go. That turned out really, really well. He didn't get the kill on the drone, but he canceled a mostly completed base. And now back at home, he already had these rocks fairly beat up. He'll buy himself even more time. I think Hyun knows he's been a little bit duped. He might try going for a really fast fourth hatchery once again. Blink is on the way. Twilight, part of a nice little wall off here to stop Zerglings from running in. Contaminate should be cheaper, I think. I'd like to see more people use Contaminate. Phoenix is going on the scout path. Hyun a little bit supply blocked right now in losing that one Overseer. +2 attack is on the way. Blink about a third of the way down, and now he's onto Immortals. Not a lot of roaches here, and this Mothership Core will let him know exactly where he's at. Might be expecting that this Nexus will be baited down here. And in fact, it's up on the high ground. For the first game in this series, we are actually looking like we're going to be seeing Swarm Host. We have Burrow and Burrow movement as well, Tumbling Claws being done. But there are cannons at every base, at every entrance. So even without having an observer necessary with his army, I think he's going to be pretty good against any type of Burrow play that might come at him here. Patience should be able to see that these rocks are getting beaten up. Come back in position to defend that. He's only got the one cannon here. These roaches might end up being trapped. There is an observer with his army. That's a lot of roach deaths. Creep is all the way to the front, and this might have been really what Hyun was trying to do, is build himself a highway of creep to the third base. We don't have Colossus done yet, but our Robo Bay just is finishing up. More gateways going down. Lots of gateways going down right now. That is a big pile of gateways. I don't know if he realizes he's up against Swarmos, though. Gateway units are obviously good, but against the Swarmos, you're going to want your Storms, you're going to want your Colossus. Killing a lot of creep here. But unfortunately, I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed. That was a really weird... Was that an Immortal Scout? How silly is that? Saves those at the last second here. Might do a little ring around the Rosie. Locusts are coming in on the other side. Roaches move so fast now with the Roach movement speed after the patch. Nice blink into the high ground here. Actually getting a little bit of damage. Back at home, he is making Colossus with Thermal Lance, and +3 attack is on the way. These units are just going to have to skedaddle. But the ones in the main... Got a little bit of a move command going on there. A lot of Stalkers just kind of being idiots. What if he's just going to sack these? I'm saying I hope he doesn't just sack these. That's quite a bit of Stalkers just to give up. That is a lucky roach. These roaches, a little bit more doomed. That Colossus is going to come in there, shred that up. Really aggressive fourth here. That's really strange from the Protoss player. It doesn't look like it's going to work out, but that was kind of a cute little play. Swarm hosts moving forward. He doesn't really have a critical mass of swarm hosts here. Not enough that this Protoss army can't deal with this. Instead, he's got a lot more roaches. Creep spread's pretty heavy right now. He's going to need more Colossus as part of this army. Some fairly decent blink micros should stop him from losing too much here. Fourth base is now finished for the Zerg player. Lots and lots of zealots in this army. They do not have charge. A little surprised that has not been invested in yet. Roaches sharking around obviously allows them to regenerate pretty darn fast when they are sharking. Trying to go for a bit of a trade there on the Stalkers. Grabs one or two of them, but loses a little bit more of the roaches in the meantime. Cut on burrow that and maybe just take out that probe. Will blink forward and actually get one of those swarm hosts. Lots of roaches behind this. We see that Hyun's not sticking with more swarm hosts here. That's why I love watching somebody like Stefano play swarm hosts. Like, the guy's just legendary and putting up the static D, taking so many bases. Might get into kind of a quasi-base tradey thing again here. There's just so much army for the Protoss player on this side that these roaches might be better served trying to help defend. Good time warp on force fields. He's going to blink ahead and actually pick off a lot of these swarm hosts just like it would be a Broodlord. Loses a ton of supply in that piece there. Roaches are coming in from the back, but these Stalkers with the +3 upgrades are doing so well. What are the roaches at right now? Roaches are a +2 attack. A giant pile of roaches just came through. Splitting up pretty well, dealing in damage in 2 different spots. I don't think Hyun's going to be able to deal with this. He's down in supply. Yes, he's killing off a lot of economy here. He's actually got units in every single base. But I think that he just doesn't have the right units to be able to deal with what's going on here. He's losing all of his tech. Roach 1 might go down here pretty quick as well. Doesn't want to lose that observer though. The Roach burrow is going to be a pretty important thing. Lots of observers in this army, but they're pretty fragile. Well, he's mining out of one base. Zerg player mining barely from one base. This one's still got a couple bucks rolling in. But Hyun's down by over 40 supply right now. These roaches are not going to get out. The burrow play is kind of... Whoa, did he lose the observers? No, there's an observer right over here. I was about to say, he had 3 with this originally. There's the other observer. I do like the burrow and the tunneling claws. I think that is kind of cute. But yeah, we'll just get shut down. He's making a couple of mutas right now. Might be just really trying to go for that final base trade. Maybe Hyun thinks something a little bit more differently than I do. But he's in quite a bit of trouble here. Even with those mutas popping out, these +3 blink stalkers aren't just going to take any crap. Hyun's going to stick in to the end just because this is a best of 3 and this is the final match. This is going to be the best that he can do. This is going to be too many units here for him to deal with, and there's the GG from Hyun. Pretty good series. Goes to Patience here, 2-1. SeKo Starcraft. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk with you soon.